Welcome back to Good Day Atlanta. Time is 9:22, and if downtown Atlanta looks a little bit like your favorite sci-fi or fantasy movie this weekend, don't panic. It's just the 85,000 fans packing into the city for one of the largest pop culture conventions of its kind. Of course, we're talking about Dragon Con, which takes over downtown through Monday. And Good Day Atlanta's Paul Milliken is live at the Hyatt Regency Atlanta this morning. This year's con celebration is marking a major milestone, and I like what's happening behind you there, Paul.
I know you do. We brought you a little eye candy this morning, Elise. I figured you wanted it this morning. Although I gotta say, Billy, just zoom into those. I feel like those eyes are boring into my soul this morning. All of my deepest, darkest secrets. Superman knows all. It's making me very nervous back there. Yeah. So we're celebrating Superman this morning because there is a major milestone that's happening this year. And to tell us all about it is Superman expert Michael Bailey. The Super Michael Bailey. Great to see you. How are you?
I am doing fantastic.
All right. So tell me, what is the milestone? What's the big deal about Superman this year?
Oh, Superman is celebrating his 80th anniversary.
Incredible, 80 years. So for people who don't know, and I really don't know the story, how did Superman start? How did this all become such a cultural phenomenon?
It was two kids from Cleveland, Ohio, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. They were high school friends, kind of nerds, picked on, and they conceived of this character called Superman. Around 1933, they started pitching it to syndicates and the nascent comic book companies, and it wasn't until 1938 that they finally got it published in Action Comics #1.
No kidding. Did people expect that it was going to be a big hit?
No, everyone turned them down. They didn't get the idea of this guy who could lift a car and jump around and all that it was going to be successful, but it blew up right from the beginning.
Yeah, you were telling me back in the day Superman's powers were a little bit different, right? They've changed over the years?
Yeah, at first he could only leap 1/8 of a mile, nothing more than a bursting shell could pierce his skin. But as he got into the adapted materials like the radio show and the movie serials and the Fleischer shorts, his powers grew and grew and grew. And by the end of the 40s, he was surviving atomic bombs.
Yeah, I think for most people in our generation, the movie with Christopher Reeves is the one that we all remember. That's our Superman. Did that movie do a lot to sort of expand the popularity of the character?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that is for, like you said, of our generation, that's Superman. And there are people that will never let that go. And the fact that he was in 4 movies, I think it just cemented that in the pop culture.
Yeah. Well, to be a Superman expert means you have devoted your life to this. I won't put you on the spot for a quiz, but tell me kind of what you do. I know you do podcasts, websites, right?
Yes, I have what I laughingly call the Fortress of Baileytude Podcasting Network, which is it's really just all the shows I do in one place. Nice. I'm also involved with the Superman homepage, which is the world's largest Superman fan site.
Excellent.
We do a live show every Tuesday on Facebook, and I just talk a lot about Superman. I talk about other comics, but Superman is what I've really devoted most of my time to.
Yeah, well, it's really cool to have you this morning. And speaking of Superman, we have watched this morning one of the men who makes Superman come alive every week in comic books, live at Dragon Con. It's Alex Sinclair, a colorist for DC Comics. Sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
It is so good to see you again. So, okay, for folks who weren't watching last hour, again, explain to me, what is a colorist for the comics?
We color the comic books. It's a collaborative medium. You have a penciler who draws it, an inker who goes over the pencils, and then a colorist who will take the black and white and just kind of breathe life into it with color.
Yeah. Were you a comic book kid? Were you one of those kids that was reading Superman every single week?
Oh, yeah. My brother and I bought every book. We'd run to the 7-Eleven and clean out the rack.
Yeah. This is probably a really generic and kind of a cliche question, but then nowadays, when you're doing your work, does it ever hit you like, okay, wait a minute, like back in the day, I was buying these comics, now I'm creating them?
Yeah. You know, my 5-year-old high-fives me every day.
The cool dad. I love that. Absolutely. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the process, because I am so naive that I'm one of those people that thinks it's still all done on paper and pencil and watercolors, whatever. What you do is very digital now, right?
Correct. Yeah. Most of the pencil and ink still done on paper. The coloring has been done with computers for over 25 years now.
Wow. And so when you're working, it's a setup similar to this, probably some bigger monitors out there. But.
Yeah, so it's a stronger machine, a bigger digital display. Yeah. But for the most part, when I travel, it becomes everything compact, a little more efficient.
Yeah, last but not least, first year at Dragon Con. Are you ready for the madness, my friend?
I walked into a crazy lobby yesterday, so I can't wait to see what the floor actually looks like.
Yeah, well, it's going to get crazier, trust me. Before it gets clearer, it's going to get more packed. You will see these gentlemen here all weekend. Get your picture. pictures with Superman here at Dragon Con. So many great events going on, Elise. It is a blast from start to finish. The big event, of course, is the parade tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and I'll probably see you there stalking these Supermen, right, Elise? Keep your distance, all right?
Probably
Restraining orders.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe. Hey, I'm a little bit disappointed, though. I expected you to be in some kind of costume. What happened?
Like I said earlier, I was going to put on the full Superman costume, but I'm so big and muscular, I didn't want to make other people feel bad about themselves. So I said, you know what? I'll be in my regular gear. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because I really am Superman, and you know.
You're such a sweetheart. Always thinking about others. Thank you for that, Paul. Thank you. Time is 9.